Most men over 40 are not buying bad clothes. They are buying the wrong brands for the life they actually live. A $700 logo shirt worn 10 times costs you $70 per wear. A $200 pair of boots worn 200 times costs you $1 per wear. Same closet. Very different math. The problem is not always spending too much. It is spending in the wrong places. Too much money goes toward brands that look impressive, but barely earn a place in your weekly rotation. Today I'm going through 10 men's brands, 5 worth reconsidering for everyday casual style after 40, and 5 that actually earn their place in your wardrobe. By the end, you'll know which brands to reconsider, which ones are worth your money, and how to judge clothing by real-life usefulness instead of logo, hype, or status. I'm not here to tell you expensive is always wrong. If a brand fits your life and you love wearing it, keep wearing it. I'm judging these brands by wearability, versatility, cost per wear, and whether they actually work in your weekly rotation. The goal is simple. Stop paying for the label and start buying clothes that actually work for the life you live. Let's start with the brands most men over 40 should reconsider first. For everyday casual style after 40, price and value are not always the same thing. Sometimes you are paying for quality, sometimes you are paying for design, and sometimes you are paying for a name that does not do much once the clothes are on your body. Reconsider 1. Gucci. Credit where it's due. Gucci makes excellent leather goods. If you're buying a Gucci bag, you'll carry for years. That is a different conversation. But the casual side, especially logo tees, monogram hoodies, and branded sneakers, is where it gets complicated after 40. Here's the problem. With a loud logo shirt, people notice the brand before they notice the outfit. Beyond the signal it sends, there is also a wardrobe problem. A several $100 logo tee does not automatically make your jeans look better. It often becomes the loudest part of the outfit. That forces the rest of the outfit to work around the brand. With Gucci casual pieces, you are often paying for heritage, status, and brand identity. That can be appealing, but it does not always make the outfit better. After 40, the goal is for your clothes to look like they belong on you, not like they are trying to say something about you. Confidence beats logos. But logos are not the only way a brand can make an outfit too loud. Reconsider 2. Golden Goose. Golden Goose sneakers are pre-distressed on purpose, so you are paying luxury prices for shoes that already look worn in. That is not an accident. It is the whole design concept. For everyday casual style after 40, clean usually looks more intentional. When your shoes already look beaten up, the rest of the outfit has to work harder. They can look interesting in the right fashion context, but for most men over 40, they are not the most useful choice for a normal week of outfits. For the price of one pair of Golden Goose sneakers, you could buy clean classics from New Balance, Adidas, or Nike that work in more everyday situations. A clean white or gray sneaker usually gives you more range and does not force the rest of your outfit to justify the choice. Clean beats distressed after 40. Once you understand that, the next mistake is easy to spot, paying for influence instead of usefulness. Reconsider 3. Off-White. Off-White has real influence in modern menswear, but influence and usefulness are two different things. For most men over 40 building a practical wardrobe, the value is hard to justify. The bold graphics, streetwear silhouettes, and hype-driven details often do not translate well into the real settings most grown men dress for: dinner, travel, casual offices, and ordinary weekends. Trend-heavy pieces come with expiration dates. When you spend that kind of money, you want pieces that stay useful, not pieces that depend on the trend staying relevant. Even if you have never bought Off-White, the same lesson applies to any brand selling hype more than wearability. The older you get, the more expensive trend mistakes become. But not every brand worth reconsidering fails because of hype. Sometimes the clothes are well made and still hard to wear. Reconsider 4. Amiri. Amiri makes well-constructed clothing with a very specific rock luxury look. The issue is not quality, it is how much versatility you actually get. When a brand has a very specific look, every piece asks the rest of your wardrobe to follow that look. Amiri's identity is rock-inspired, provocative, and often leans younger. You end up dressing around the piece instead of letting it support your wardrobe. Expensive distressed denim is still distressed denim. The price does not make it easier to wear in everyday life. The pieces that do the most work after 40 are quiet and versatile. They support your style instead of forcing you into one specific character. The more specific the look, the harder it is to wear on a regular Wednesday. If a brand forces you into a character, it may not be helping your actual wardrobe. The next brand is trickier in a quieter way because many men over 40 already trust it. Reconsider 5. Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss is not a hype brand. A lot of men over 40 know it, trust it, and have spent real money on it. That trust is exactly why it deserves a closer look. Hugo Boss can make sense in tailoring and structured business casual, especially if the fit is right. The value gets weaker on the casual side, especially when you are paying full price. Logo tees, branded hoodies, and basic cotton pieces often sit next to less expensive options that can do the same job in a casual wardrobe. In those categories, the brand name is often doing more work than the garment. One more thing worth knowing. Hugo Boss often makes more sense on sale than at full price. That does not make the brand bad. It just means patience can be part of the value. That does not mean you should avoid the brand. It means you should be specific. A good blazer is one conversation. A logo hoodie at full price is a very different one. Do not judge the brand. Judge the item, and judge it at the price you are being asked to pay. Premium does not always mean better value. So before we talk about the brands worth buying, here's the filter I want you to use. First, fit is the foundation. A $50 shirt that fits will beat a $500 shirt that does not. If the fit is wrong, the brand cannot save it. Second, spend where the difference actually shows. Footwear, outerwear, denim, and knitwear move the needle most. Logo tees, branded hoodies, and designer caps often cost a lot but do very little. Third, before you buy anything, name 3 outfits you can wear it with. If you cannot name 3, put it back. A piece that only works one way is not a wardrobe solution. Fourth, run the cost per wear math before you buy. The real price is not what you paid at checkout. It is what you paid divided by how often you wear it. The most expensive item in your closet is the one you never wear. Fifth, do not dress younger. Dress sharper. The goal after 40 is not to look 25 again. The goal is to look clean, considered, and put together in a way that fits your actual life. The best dressed man in the room is usually not wearing the most recognizable logo. He is wearing the right things, and he knows why they work. With that filter in mind, here are 5 brands that actually earn their place in a casual wardrobe after 40. Worth it 1. Levi's. You have heard this one before, but Levi's keeps showing up for a good reason. The 501 has been around since 1873, and that kind of staying power matters. Some clothes last because of marketing. Others last because they solve the same wardrobe problem decade after decade. After 40, dark, well-fitted denim is one of the most useful things in a casual wardrobe. It works with almost everything, and very few pants give you that much range. Levi's still cuts jeans that make sense on grown men. The 501, 505, and 514 give you room and structure without going too skinny or too trendy. A pair of dark 501s at around $80, worn twice a week for 2 years, comes out to less than 50 cents per wear. That is the kind of wardrobe math that matters. For most men, designer denim rarely justifies the price gap in everyday wear. What should you buy? Start with the 501 original, the 505 regular, or the 514 straight. Go dark rinse or medium wash, and skip anything too skinny, too ripped, overly faded, or too trendy. The goal is denim that anchors the outfit, not denim that becomes the whole outfit. For most men, classic denim beats designer denim. The same idea applies to the next brand. Timeless beats trendy. Worth it 2. L.L.Bean. L.L.Bean is not exciting, and that is exactly why it works. It gives you clothes that feel dependable instead of decorative. Its best pieces still work because they are practical, simple, and not tied to trend cycles. This is classic American casual without the need to prove anything. Start with the chamois shirt. It is warm without being bulky and sits between rugged and presentable, which is exactly where casual style works best for a lot of men over 40. The flannels and field coats follow the same logic. Useful, sturdy, and easy to wear. They do not scream for attention. They make the outfit feel grounded. One practical note: L.L.Bean pieces can run roomy. Do not size up unless you actually need the room. The difference between looking relaxed and looking sloppy is often one size. L.L.Bean will not make you look trendy. It will make you look like a man who knows what works. Practical can still look stylish, and once the outfit is grounded, the fastest upgrade is usually the shoes. Worth it 3. Thursday boots. A good pair of boots changes the entire read of an outfit. Simple jeans and a plain shirt look more intentional when the footwear has weight and structure. Thursday boots makes that upgrade accessible without pushing most men into a much higher price range. That matters because footwear is one of the fastest upgrades a man over 40 can make. The designs are clean, easy to wear, and not overloaded with details that will date quickly. Many core styles use full-grain leather and Goodyear welt construction, which can help the boots last for years with proper care. Start with the Captain for versatility, the Duke Chelsea for a cleaner look, or the Scout Chukka for something more relaxed. Pick one based on your lifestyle, not on which one looks best in a product photo. If you are still wearing worn-out sneakers with everything, a clean pair of leather boots may be your highest impact upgrade. Shoes change the whole outfit, but the clothes around them still need to be clean, simple, and useful. Worth it 4. Uniqlo. A lot of men see Uniqlo as a budget basics store and stop there. That is the wrong frame. At its best, Uniqlo is a fabric-first brand at accessible prices. The goal is not to be flashy. The goal is to look right for the situation you are in. After 40, that is usually more valuable. Clean fit, good fabric, and nothing fighting for attention. The Supima cotton t-shirt is a good example. It feels clean, wears well, and offers strong value compared with plain t-shirts that cost much more. Oxford shirts, knitwear, lightweight jackets, AIRism, and heat tech all help you build useful everyday outfits without spending like you're buying luxury. Be careful with fit and texture. Do not size down, and do not build an entire outfit out of flat basics. Basics still need an anchor. Uniqlo works best when the basics are anchored by denim, boots, an overshirt, or a jacket. Uniqlo is boring in exactly the right way, and after 40, that kind of boring can make an outfit look like it cost more than it did. That is the power of boring basics. They can look expensive when the fit is right. The next brand works the same way, only if you stay disciplined. Worth it 5. J.Crew. J.Crew has had its ups and downs, including bankruptcy and a few identity shifts. But the key after 40 is simple. Buy the grown-up pieces and skip the trend-forward ones. The chinos are reliable, especially in neutral colors like stone, navy, olive, and khaki. They are not exciting, but they do the job week after week. The Oxford shirts give you a more adult alternative to a graphic tee without feeling too formal. Wallace & Barnes is the most interesting part for men over 40. Heritage feel, heavier fabrics, and pieces that depend less on trends. That is where J.Crew starts to feel less like a mall brand and more like a real wardrobe builder. The trap with J.Crew is buying too much just because it is on sale. The value is real only when the piece fills a gap in your wardrobe. Full price is rarely the smartest move here. With J.Crew, patience is part of the value. Buy the grown-up pieces, not the trendy pieces. That is really the rule for the whole wardrobe. Here is the takeaway. After 40, dressing well is not about knowing which brands are hot. It is about knowing which brands actually work for you. Some brands charge you for logos, hype, or status. Others give you better fit, more versatility, more durability, and clothes you actually reach for week after week. That is why the real question is not whether a brand is expensive. The real question is whether it earns its place in your wardrobe. Fit matters more than the label. Cost per wear matters more than the retail price. And real-life usefulness matters more than hype. The goal is simple. Buy fewer things that do more. Which overpriced brand surprised you most? And what brand has actually been worth the money for you? Drop your answer in the comments. If you're over 40 and want everyday style that looks sharper without wasting money, subscribe. Because after 40, the best brand is not the one people recognize first. It is the one that makes you look better every time you wear it. Thanks for watching.